Oh man, what's that noise in the distance? It's the rolling thunder of spoilers. Everybody's all excited about this or that, but brother, I'm stuck on Morph. Alright, I need to take you all the way back to 2019. Everything was good back then. We had no pandy-wandies, nothing like that was going on. That's when we got Kadina, Slinking Sorcerer. 1 black, blue, and a green for a legendary creature, Naga Wizard. It's a 3/3. The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Kadina came in a pre-con with a bunch of Morph cards, and I got one because, you know what, brother? It's neat. It's a value-generating commander that lends itself to a very tricky strategy that has phenomenal potential for mind games. Old Nicky G loves mind games, dude. It's fun. You end up with a lot of permanents out there, and your opponents don't know what they are. Plus, you can trigger Kadina on your opponent's turns and get a free Morph with cards like Ugin the Ineffable. So why are we thinking about Morph right now? Well, we're starting to get some cards that are relevant to Morph specifically, but face-down creatures in general. Look at this little fella, the Tunnel Tipster, 1 and a green for a creature Mole Scout. It's a 1/1. At the beginning of your end step, if a face-down creature entered the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Tunnel Tipster. Tap and add green. This card's not that great, but you know what? He's kind of cute. Now look at this guy, a little more relevant. The Rakish Scoundrel, 2 black and a green for a creature Elf Rogue with Death Touch. This guy enters the battlefield or is turn face up. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Also has Disguise for 4 black, green, black, green. It's a 3/3. These are just Morph cards with Ward 2, which is kind of nice, but tips your hand that it isn't a Morph. You know, it's a subset of newer cards in a Kadina deck. So if you're going to cast these face down, man, you got to have a bunch of them in the deck. But then I saw Vanifar. Now, as you know, Vanifar had another card that was kind of a birthing pod analog. The original Vanifar is only about $2 right now. It's a fantastic card, but it's probably because Simic gets so much other bonkers broken stuff. So in the Karlov Manor set, we get Vanifar Evolved Enigma, 2 green and a blue for a legendary creature, Elf Ooze Wizard. Oh man, I don't know what to say about that, dude. One of my ex-girlfriends was an ooze. Got to be a little careful here so we don't get politically incorrect. This is a 3/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Cloak a card from your hand, so you put it onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Turn it face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature card. That's pretty awesome. Or put a +1/+1 counter on each colorless creature you control. So this is interesting, you know, cloak a Morph, cloak a card with Disguise, cloak a dang land card if you want, like Zoetic Cavern. Zoetic Cavern has Morph 2 and has tap add colorless. I actually use this as a little ramp in Kadina. I think it's a fun little card, you know? So when you cloak something, is it a cavern or is it a dang Ebon Blade Reaper, dude? This is 2 and a black for a creature, human cleric. It's a 1/1. Whenever it attacks, you lose half your life rounded up. Whenever Ebon Blade Reaper deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Has Morph for 3 black, black. So basically you declare this guy as an attacker, see if it gets blocked. If not, morph it over. From the rulings here, anytime you have priority, you may turn the face down creature face up by revealing what its morph cost is and paying that cost. This is a special action. It doesn't use the stack and can't be responded to. Only a face down permanent can be turned face up this way. A face down spell cannot. Oh my god, there are about 1 million rulings on Morph, but I'm not going to go into them all here. So obviously Vanifar can't be the commander of a deck where you're using Ebon Blade Reaper, but you can use them both in a Kadina deck. It's a rare, you get upgrades for the Morph deck, dude, so I get excited, alright? So I'm going to do a video on it, and I'm equally excited about Atrada, Deadly Fugitive, which is 1 blue and a black for a legendary creature, Vampire Assassin. It's a 1/4 with Death Touch. Face down creatures you control have 2 blue and a black. Turn this creature face up. If you can't exile it, then you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to a player, and Atrada is obviously an assassin, cloak the top card of that player's library. This card is kind of similar to Ixodor Reality Sculptor, which is 5 mana for a legendary creature, human wizard. It's a 3/4. Face down creatures get +1/+1, and it has the ability 2 and a blue, turn target face down creature face up. I like this guy because he wears a sleeveless cloak, which is just my style, brother. Atrada's really dope, if not a little clunky. You got a lot more going on than you do with Ixodor. So if you exile an instant or sorcery as you turn it face up, then you get to exile and cast the card as part of the resolution of this ability. It's got light assassin synergy there as well. Maybe there's a deck that's a build around, but it's not a particularly supported tribe. Yeah man, Atrada's neat because it gives you a little break on cards like Brine Elemental. 4 blue blue for a creature elemental. It's a 5/4 with Morph for 5 blue blue. When this guy's turned face up, each opponent skips their next untapped step. The morph cost on this is very steep, but it doesn't care what turned it face up. Atrada's ability, or the Morph ability itself. Now, the last time we got a new card for Morph decks was Yodora Grave Gardener. So this is 4 and a green for a legendary creature, Tree Folk Druid. It's 5/5. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. It's a forest land. Has no other types or abilities. This was recently reprinted in Commander Masters and with a Multiverse Legends version. Yodora keeps the pressure on, buddy. If you lose a Morph, Yodora brings it back as a sweet little grove of love and respect. If the face down card has Morph, you can pay its Morph cost to turn it face up. And that's an official ruling, brother. So what can you do in a Morph deck? You're probably thinking to yourself, wow, I'll just play a bunch of junk cards. Well, they're not all junk, dude. You got Gift of Doom, 4 and a black for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has Death Touch and Indestructible, has Morph, sacrifice another creature. As Gift of Doom is turned face up, you may attach it to a creature. I've used this a million times to protect Kadina with a board wipe on the stack. Plus, I love the art on this thing. You're really getting touched by an angel vibes from this. And you got the Vesuvian Shapeshifter. Notice the little shapeshifter legs on the guy on the right. 3 blue for a creature shapeshifter. It's a 0/0. As it enters the battlefield or is turned face up, you may choose another creature on the battlefield. If you do, until this is turned face down, it becomes a copy of that creature, except it has, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may turn this creature face down. Has Morph for 1 and a blue. God, that's a long paragraph. This guy is just a cool clone effect. Man, I really dig this card, especially in a Kadina deck. You can cast it, it enters, and you can copy ETB effects, or just morph it as a surprise copy of your commander if it gets exiled or something, man. Let the value train roll on. And kind of the cool thing about Morph is, once your opponents see some of these cards go off, you can play mind games all day with them. You can protect your commander with Will Bender, or Stratus Dancer, or Kero Spell Snatcher. All these interact in different ways with spells on the stack and are fantastic in a Morph deck. One of my favorite cards to use is the old Chrome Shell Crab, dude. I'm going to show you both versions here because both rip and rock. 4 and a blue for a creature Crab Beast, just like old Nikki G. It's a 3/3 with Morph for 4 and a blue. When this guy's turned face up, you may exchange control of target creature you control and target creature an opponent controls. Bro, let me tell you, when an opponent swings in with a massive commander or some Blightsteel or some nonsense, and you activate this and give them a manifested forest or something, that's better commander, dude. And just so you know, when a creature's controller changes, it is removed from combat, so you can respond after they declare attackers. It's no longer attacking and will thus not deal combat damage to the defending player. Hell yeah, brother. Give me a hell yeah. I'm looking forward to spoilers from this set. Not strictly for Kadina upgrades, but that deck definitely needs to be revisited. It's kind of a modified pre-con. I have a list on my site. I'm going to upload it for you guys. You know, I see some of these cards, man. I start to get all excited. I start to shimmer and shake, dude, out there like Elvis Presley. So enjoy your day. Like and subscribe. Email me your bank account details. This channel's blowing up, dude. We're getting lots of new subscribers, and I'm bringing all you guys along for the ride. It's Nikki G from Better Commander, signing off.